welcome to another show of Don't Get Twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host, as always, Tina. How you doing, Tina?
Hanging in there.
Yes, ma'am.
Dealing.
Dealing. Yes.
Life is getting rough right now.
If people could only hear right before we get on.
Yeah.
What I should do is just record that, and then we'll go into a show one time so they can actually hear what the hell we talk about. It's kind of funny. We talk about the craziest shit. So, personal life. So we had some ideas, or you had an idea, but I think that we're gonna go on to something else because I think it's probably just smart at this particular point. But I had some stuff written down. I always write down crazy things because I always talk on here. I watch way too much red pilled YouTube now, and how women are.
What is that? Red pill?
Red pilled. It's basically have you ever seen The Matrix where the red pill and the blue pill?
Yeah.
And then the red pill tells you the truth. It's basically red pilling is red pilling men. It's telling them the truth. It's the manosphere. It's there's a lot of stuff behind it, but these pages get all these insanely psycho women who do TikToks talking about what to do, never go on coffee dates because they're cheap, and no, a man should put money into you. And it's all these men going, fuck them women. If they don't want to go on a coffee date with you, don't go. So it's funny. Oh no, there's a line drawn in the sand.
I'm glad there's a line drawn in the sand for sure. But why am I just hearing about this? This is a whole culture?
Yeah, I'm going to send you a bunch of stuff. We'll do a show on just that.
Yes.
I'm going to send you a ton. You're going to be really mad though, because I know how you are. You're going to be really mad at all these dumb women because you hear all these, you'll see. I'll send you some stuff, but it's a lot of this culture that's going around, and a lot of it has to do with marriage, right? A lot of it has to do with marriage. There's so many of these women going, I left the good guy, because I wasn't happy. And it's and then all these people are going, are you out of your mind? So here's what we're going to go with today, because I think that it's important for everyone. I'm going to say, what are the signs that a marriage is over? But I think it's what are the signs a relationship is over as well. Yeah, right? Because there's two totally, they do walk hand in hand. I think obviously a relationship much easier to get out of. But I think the signs are pretty much the same. Right?
Yeah.
We have both been divorced.
Yay us.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I did it so long ago that I am yay us. I'm okay with it because I'm at just a different place. You know what I mean? I would say that I hate to be the guy that says I'm over it, but I'm over it. I was over it many, many years ago because I've been there. So I don't have any lingering things to do with my marriage. Let's just say that. Right. So I think that I've moved way past that, but I do understand the signs because I take a lot of responsibility for my divorce.
Right. Sure. Takes two every time there's a divorce.
100%. Do I think that sometimes it can be very one-sided? Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
That it's never completely, but it can be very one-sided. Where
it's still never completely one-sided.
No, it's not. 100%. You're right. It can be 90-10. It can be 80-20. It can be 50-50. It can be, but there's a lot of things involved though that I would say that make it more one-sided. You know what I mean? If you cheat, that's pretty one-sided. Now we can also go down the road of what leads you to cheating. Right? So, since we're kind of doing this off the cuff, I'll go with like the easy ones that you can kind of throw out there. The first one I think for a man is lack of intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a cornerstone of what men need. And I'm not talking sex. Intimacy. It's everything. There's so many things that are involved in that I think it's kind of, you can step into a ton of different ones where I think for me, intimacy is the being close to each other. Like sitting on the couch to me when you're watching something is the best kind of intimacy for me. I want your legs over me. I want, I want to be rubbing your legs, whatever it is, because I think that's being close. That's sharing a space together.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than, being in the kitchen and maybe cooking together and going by and touching each other. Like those simple things is what keep intimacy going. Cause that I think can over a couple of hours can turn into something more.
Right.
But I think men, when we stop getting intimacy, things really go sideways.
I agree.
You've said a lot of stuff over the 240 shows that we've had about women in your hair chairs really talking about how they use sex and intimacy as a weapon.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah, it's to me it's insane what men and women are doing to each other these days in so many ways. But when you just can't even be nice, that really kind of it's concerning. Like, wait, you can't be nice to the man that you're with. You can't, throw him a bone every once in a while. You can't, say something nice because he really tried. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I sit and hear women talk and the things that come out of their mouths about, well, it was the wrong color. He bought her the $500 bag that's like the ugliest thing I've ever seen, right?
Right.
And he didn't get the right color. And she
Yeah.
was pissed off about that. And I was like, you realize he went shopping for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
to buy a purse. What fucking guy wants to do that?
Yeah.
And he did it for you, and you're not going to give him, like, I would change my fucking wardrobe around that bag just to say thank you for
Right.
being somebody that wants to be that to me. Not this, like, what kind of CUNT are you? Like,
Right.
you get that mad at a color. I can't, Rob. I can't.
Yeah. I
As
think there's a lot to be said with what you're saying too.
the disrespect, and it's on both sides of me because I hear what guys say about women too, but really I have a hard time with what women are doing. But they're just so disrespectful and out of line and not wanting to bend, and everybody needs to get more in the middle and less in the,
The
the
far outsides.
extremes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we kind of meet in the middle? Because wow, the energy it takes to be that screwed up is far beyond my want.
Yeah, I think that also comes down to just taking people for granted.
I don't know. I think it's worse than when they're talking about their husbands in the way that they're talking that I'm hearing and stuff. I'm just like, damn. And then I think, what is he doing? Like, because if she's that screwed up, not most men are not going to take that. They're going to be doing their own thing too. Then at that point, I just want to know. I just want to know what everybody's doing. Like, I want to see the whole movie, not just
Right.
one side, one character's version of it.
I think when it comes to things like that, you're 100% correct. Uh, both sides have their issues, right?
Mhm.
Um, I think when you get to a certain part of your relationship, it's like you're either going to push yourself out to sea or you're going to sink, right? Or you're going to swim. There's if you keep pushing your mate away, you're you're going to end up alone
Mhm.
and or with somebody worse, right?
Yeah.
Um or you're going to look at the things that are in front of you and go, look, you know, there's bad days. Everyone's going to have a bad day. I think that the short end of this story is if you have a bad day with your mate or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, it's one day. And as long as it's not, you know, 3 times a week, that's being human. And I think that everyone should go, hey, it's going to happen every blue moon for whatever reason. We are ticking time bombs of emotion, right?
Mhm.
And there's a lot going through our heads. People are going through their own stuff. You know, if you look at like marriage, where they're both working, so maybe work is bad. And, you know, we've talked about it on here. I think for one, you should never discuss problems in your bedroom. That's not a place for problems.
Right.
You should definitely take care of things that happen in your day within the first 15 to 20 minutes of being home with each other. Throw that shit out all and be done with it. So then you can enjoy the rest of your evening.
Mhm.
And hopefully not anything else comes up where, you know, and this is like minus children because, you know, children, that could be a whole other thing during the day, during the night. But things need to be said because these are the other things that push people away. When one party wants to be intimate or close and the other one just is vomiting verbal shit out, you're pushing people away.
Mhm.
And, and with that being said, I think that you have as a couple, you have to have rules. There has to be rules. Life is rules, right? You, and before you get deep into a relationship with somebody, these are the things that I think you have to, you know, have boundaries and ground rules for. Like, we need to do this so we don't end up not being together.
Mhm.
And I know that's easier said than done because I mean, obviously I'm not married. So that, you know what I mean? Like, but I think for me, I've learned because I've only been in a couple of like relationships since my divorce. And I'll do quote unquotes because I really haven't been in anything really serious. I think the longest I've been in a relationship with since then is like 6 months. Um, and I think that has a lot to do with me too. Like when you, because I'm not used to handling other people's emotions, I just go, oh, fuck it. I don't care, which is not healthy.
You think?
Right. But it's because of where I'm at. Like, and I think a lot of that stuff earlier is because my son was little. And I
Yeah.
think that I was, you know, when I got divorced and I had my son and I took him, I've never not had him. So for me, I was always in dad mode. Where I'm at now, I'm not in dad mode, right? He's a grown
Right.
ass man. So I think the way I look at things are totally different. Do I still have problems dealing with people's emotions? Absolutely. Because I don't have to deal with that on a daily basis. I just don't.
Right.
So, you know, I'm still learning as I go into something new, you know, you have to, you have to look at the realities of what might push people away. And in marriage, it can be, you know, should I know people who were married? Well, I was married technically 6 years, but I was with her 10. I know people who've been in married, been married for, well, one of my older friends was, I worked with her. I think she was married 14 or 15 years before she got a divorce.
He
But they
was
had,
17,
yeah, 17. And my friend in Vegas,
together
17.
22. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and look, they're roller coaster rides. They are. I think a lot of us don't get out of them soon enough.
I'd agree with that.
I think that's also a thing. So for me, I think, at least from the man point of view, I think intimacy is one of the things that definitely would be a cause to, you know, a, a marriage to end. It's a big sign when your mate stops being intimate with you, there's a problem. And, you know, from the man's point of view, I think if your wife or girlfriend stops being intimate with you, they have either are cheating on you because they don't need to be intimate anymore, or they're emotionally someone's taking up the slack. Because I think it's a two-way, it's two things as well.
Well, it could be that she's still scorned from his, endeavors.
True. That is true. That is very true. Um, but I mean, my thing is this: is if you're in a healthy relationship, no one's cheated, no one's done anything, and your intimacy starts, you know, slacking or going sideways. You need to find out what the problem is of why that's happening.
I think it just starts to become everything. You know what I mean? It's
That's
like,
what I mean. But there's got to be something, because you said that you've heard people use it as a weapon. Like,
yes.
I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to have sex with him because he's not doing this. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, uh, uh, that is a horrible way to push your partner away.
I would agree.
And look, I think men also, you have to understand that women are women. You can't just you can't just plug them every day. That's not that's also not realistic. And I think that you have to have whatever you
But
think
wait,
is.
plug them? You're talking about sex.
Yes, you can't
Okay.
just have sex with them every day. Or here's the thing, you can if you have, that's the kind of relationship you have. But
Right.
if your mate comes to you, and like I said, not it can't be every day, but it also can't be every day. No.
Yeah. Again, there's meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
There should not be extremes in a relationship. There just should not be. It's not really healthy.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. There is a healthy number of times that you should have sex, but I think you should always be intimate.
I get
Right.
you.
You know, it, and again, you have to see both sides of the people. Like, I love holding hands. Like, I think that that's an important thing. Um, but I
But
know
not
people,
everybody is like that. My
that's what
ex
I'm
was
saying.
very much, I would rub a part on his hand, and if I went over it 2 or 3 times, he'd say, "Don't rub it out." I'd be like, "Really?"
Yeah. But I'm
That
the same way.
that to me, that I kind of felt a little rejected. Like, I didn't. Okay, if you don't like the way I rub you, I'm just not going to rub you because I don't. You know what I mean? It was like the way he said it was odd, but then I took it weird, and we didn't find a place to meet in the middle. It took a long time to get through that.
Right. I've had somebody do it where they tickle the inside of my hand,
Hmm.
and it's like, I'll let it go once and then let it go twice. But then it's like, stop. Like, hold my hand, and like, but it's like, it's too much. It's like, it's to the point where like you feel like you're being pushed. Like, okay, I've asked you not to do that and you keep doing it. Like, and it's, and again, it's the 80-20 rule, right? Or 90-10 rule. There's some things that as a great mate, you're not going to be okay with. It's just bothersome, right? And I've been with women the same way where I would put my hand on them a certain way or tickle their back a certain way and be like, don't do that anymore. And yeah, I think in the beginning it is kind of crushing because you think, but here's the thing. I think a lot of us older folks, you know, because previous mates were okay with it, you think that everyone's going to be okay with it. And that's just not the truth. But you also have to be able to meet in the middle, like you're saying. I think that there's something to where like, it's like, I don't like that, but I like the other 90% of the things we do. It's like, I'm not pushing you away because of this. I'm just telling you, I don't like that part.
Right.
Everything else is fucking great.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
yes. But at the same time, your approach is everything. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Because when he said that to me, in my own head, I was like, motherfucker, all right, I'm not going to do that shit ever again. Because that's the flip side. You know what I mean? It's like,
I agree. It's how you say it. And like, look.
But again,
you know,
it is like how when a relationship is over, when somebody's saying, motherfucker, you know that the respect is not there anymore.
Right. Well, like I said, it's on the front end of this. It's if you tell your mate early in a relationship, like, look, I really don't like that. It's up to the person to understand that it's just one little thing. Mm-hmm. That's it. You know, it's because we've been with different people. I think that we assume, right? You assume they're going to be like this. You assume they're going to be like that. And it's just not reality. It doesn't mean that you're not, you don't have chemistry or some kind of connection. It just means that, yeah, that bothers me. And it's okay. I think if something bothers you, you should be able to go to your partner and go, look, I really don't like the way you do this. And some people can work on that and some people can't. And I think that when you can't, that will drive you out of a relationship. That should be a sign, right? I got to get out of this before it's too bad. Once you're married, though,
you're stuck.
I mean, you're not stuck. I mean, obviously.
You're stuck.
But I think
until you're not.
Right. But I think if you're going to marry someone, I think that you've already understood that that's the 10%. Mm-hmm. Like, all right. Like, could I live with someone tickling my hand? Absolutely. Because if they're a great person, you know what I mean? I guess I tried to look at things so different because, we're on the backside of life.
Yes.
If I can deal with someone's craziness, because I've already done it before, right? I've dealt with a lot of other people's craziness.
Yeah, every person you've ever been with, you've had to deal with their crazy.
Right.
And all the other parts of them too.
And so you have to see that for what it is. Yeah, we're a lot. People. Mm-hmm. We're a lot.
Everyone is a lot. It just takes the right person to deal with it. That's
right. And to understand. What it is. Yeah. And then to understand, like, hey, I'm okay with you being crazy. I get it. And it's not like it's going to drive me away. It's the things that are going to drive me away are lack of intimacy. Or the other thing would be
lack
like to
of
me
sex, and because that's important, it's got to be on there.
It is,
for sure.
And cheating,
right?
Because I think as a person, I mean, I've said it a bunch of times on here. I don't share well,
right?
And I mean anything. Like when I was little, I'm sure I was horrible. But a mate, never. ever, ever,
Right.
ever. I just wouldn't do it. That's me. And it's probably because I respect both of us. If you
Mhm.
don't, if you want out, if you want to go be with somebody else, just say it so we can finish it.
Right.
I'd respect you more if you came to me and said, "Look, this isn't working for me. I want to be with other people." Cool. C'est la vie.
Mhm.
Because I think that's fair. But if you're doing it around me and I find out, first of all, I'm probably going to prison because I'm killing people. Um,
You
yeah,
said people?
yeah. Nah,
You didn't say him, her, you said people?
nah, I would never kill the person. Maybe the dude,
Oh,
but even
oh
that's
god.
saying a lot. I don't think I'd kill somebody over it. But to me, it's like that is just a line that you don't cross.
Right.
It's like because you'll wreck people. I mean,
Absolutely.
I I've I've been cheated on before, but I didn't know it until a long time after it. 8 years actually. 8 years. Um, and by then I was fine. Um, I mean, I was. I mean, by then I had tons of other relationships, so it was, I mean, I guess by the time it happened, in theory, I would have said I cheated on her because it was years. I found out from somebody else like 20 years later that they did.
Wow.
But even so, like 20 something years ago, I was a fucking child. It was almost 30 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, and then
Yes.
why that relationship ended was being a child. Like
Right.
I didn't understand. I didn't know how it worked. Um, but that is another thing that and I think women are, I don't want to say women are okay with it. I don't know. I, I would say
Women are
most
okay with
men
what?
cheating,
Oh, no, they're not. They're but they'll
but they,
stick in it.
but they
They'll
stick in it.
stay
That's what
in
I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
Which men I don't think do.
Yeah,
Men
they
find out their
do.
woman cheats, they're like, go fuck
No,
yourself.
you
You
know
can leave.
what? For the most part, I have seen it, but for the most part, you're right. The one thing they'll put up with disrespect for years from the same person,
Mhm.
but the second another weenie's around, they're bolting.
Yeah. And for good reason.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's absurd to take that. Now I know women who have been cheated on by their spouse and stayed a long time.
Mm.
Um, I know one who it happened to, and uh, she didn't. She stayed a little bit, but I think then everything started, fermenting. Right? When you're in your own head over
Oh,
and
that's
over
horrible.
and over, then what ends up happening is there's no more intimacy anymore because you look at him like he's a fucking piece of shit,
Mm.
and you don't want to touch him because he's been with somebody else. And I think that's why men, when they find out, they're done. It's just like, no, because and this is going to sound horrible, but it's very much the truth, is that men feel, I'm going to say it, but it's going to sound really bad. It's like a property thing. Like we put a flag
Piss
in
on
you.
the hydrant?
Yeah, it's the truth. And that's why men are very like, the first time they hear about a DM coming into someone's, their girl's shit, they're like, end that shit or we're done.
Right.
Because but that's, I think, a protection thing. It's like, if you don't want to be with me, cool, bail out. Tell me so I can fucking kick rocks and I'll have no problem. But I think that that's the thing. And these are the signs. I think a big sign for a man now is social media. And
In
I know
what
that
way?
sucks, being on it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
If you're on social media all the time, matter of fact, if you're on your phone all the time in front of me, there's a problem.
Yep.
Why? the whole point of being together is not having to worry about an electronic leash taking your time. If I'm not good enough to you know be your enjoyment, why are we together?
I'm
Because
with
like
you
to
on that.
me, I love when I'm with somebody, there's nothing better than putting my phone down.
Hmm.
It's the greatest thing in the world. I've um I've had some dinners with some people here recently. Um that when I'm with them, it's awesome because we both put our phone down and disappear into a conversation.
Very cool.
That's the greatest thing in the world.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Exactly. But I think that's how your relationship should be.
Hmm.
You shouldn't be on your phone. Well, you shouldn't be on your phone all the time anyway. From a human standpoint, it's rotting us. But the other thing is like there's a thing that we've talked about a while back, and we haven't done a show on it, but I think that it's would you dump all your social media to stay in a great relationship?
It
Um,
would be easy for me.
I mean, I would do it in a second. It would be hard for me only because of the show.
Hmm.
Having to go on and post things. But I'm also open to like if my girlfriend wants to go through my phone, I don't care.
But also, if you don't want to trust me, I don't want to be with you. I don't know. There's a fine line with that because getting on Life 360 with your partners and everybody knows how to get into your phone and go through it. That where's the sense of trust there?
I I understand that, but I mean, my thing is, shouldn't you just be open to it? Like, what do
Yeah,
you
but
care?
shouldn't you just be trusting of it?
A 100%. But again, there's a fine line there of I think society has just screwed up, right? Because there's if you and this isn't from a man side because I'll tell you it rarely happens that someone DMs you, some girl DMs you. It's like, hey, I would say it fucking never happens. It's probably few and far between. And I mean on average, where women, I think it happens daily.
Daily.
So if you post it, all you would have to do is post a picture. That's the other thing. Like, what's the fine line of posting pictures? Is it okay to post bikini pictures?
I don't think it's okay because I don't want to see my fat ass in a bikini, but so
But
be it.
from the other side, though, is what I'm trying to tell you. If if your man's, and again, whatever you find attractive in a man, let's say it's a suit. Your man's posting pictures in a fucking suit all the time. You should probably be wondering why, right? If he's not posting pictures in like sweatpants and a fucking dirty t-shirt and his hair sideways, where
Mhm.
he's posting every picture he posts is him trying to look handsome, there's a problem. Or if it's he's next to his fucking car, or he's next to his boat, or he's next to his whatever, his motorcycle, whatever it is. To me, that's a problem that you're trying to flex on something. So you're fishing. Where
Right.
women fish the other way. One bikini pic, one pic in you know tight pants, whatever it is. Men will flock to it. So if you're looking for attention, it's not hard to find. So social media is kind of that thing where it's not that I don't think men trust or don't trust, it's that they don't trust men.
Right.
So it has nothing to do with trusting your partner. It's just don't put me in that situation.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
no
with you.
different than it's no different than I'll say it for both sides, even though it's probably not true mostly for men. A girl's night out, if you're going to go to a club on a girl's night out, why? Why are you going? And I know that sounds horrible. And I know it sounds like, oh, he just wants to control me. No,
Mhm.
you shouldn't. Why do you need to do that now? going to a club 99% of the time is it's a meat market.
Right.
So you're just setting yourself up for failure on both sides. If a man's going out to a club with his boys and 50% of his boys are single, what do you think is going to happen? Everyone starts drinking. Everyone starts doing this. Next thing you know, there's some girl talking to you and you're like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And alcohol is a whole other issue when you're out doing stuff. So you're just putting yourself in that position. And maybe it's just because I'm old, but I never did that when I was young. I don't put myself in positions.
I loved going clubbing, and I didn't go to check out guys, to be honest. I went to dance.
Right. But I just think that
that's not common, though.
I mean, I think it's common for girls because girls will dance with girls.
Yeah.
But I just think that it's the why. Or here's the thing. If you need to go to a club, go with your girl. Take her with you.
Absolutely.
If you want to go to a club,
lot of fun.
Take your man with you. It's okay. But I also think that you have to go within you have to understand that, one person has to be of healthy mind. You can't go with your girl to the club and both you get hammered and then some girl or some guy hits on your woman and you get all pissy and want to murder somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you have to be able to go
that. Mm-hmm.
Right now. And here's the flip side. You can't be the girl and get so hammered and going, what? He's only dancing with me. It's like, no, I'm uncomfortable with it. I don't want my girlfriend dancing like that with some other dude.
I get it.
So, but each other's friends will then go, they're just controlling and they don't want you to have fun. It's like, no, because the reality of that situation is the long term is we have to be with each other the other 364 days where we're in the backyard gardening, we're barbecuing for dinner, we're, real life shit. So don't give your mate a sign for one night out to ruin everything. Because it's that easy. I mean, you can fuck up your relationship in a night.
Mm-hmm.
And people
in an hour.
Yeah. Who are really good for each other, really great to be around each other. 99% of the time, it's amazing. They sit around, they talk, they, learn about each other, they giggle, whatever. My big thing is, can you sit down and have a dinner with somebody and enjoy someone's company?
Not someone's, the person that you're with's company.
Yes. Here, I'm gonna play something here. It's let's see if I can get it to play. Whoop, hold on. I had it. Matter of fact, I heard it today. Whoop, shut up.
Date someone you enjoy being with while they have all their clothes on.
I saw that today.
It's the truth.
If you don't enjoy them in that setting in a relationship, if you have to be in the backseat of a car making out to feel romance, if you're gonna be doing sexual stuff, if you're gonna be doing one night stands to feel close, that's not someone you should date. Date someone that you actually enjoy being with before sexuality.
That's 100% true.
Well, yeah, you got it. That way you get to know them and see if you want to be intimate. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how we were taught for it to be.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you firsthand, it works.
Right.
It works. I mean, I spent time with somebody for a weekend, and it was a long time ago. And nothing happened. It was just, and I'm talking years and years and years and years ago. and when I mean nothing happened, I mean no sex. Were we intimate? Absolutely. We kissed and we held hands and we did, let's go out to dinner with your friends. And we did all that. So there was intimacy, but there was absolutely no sex. And to me, I realized that, you have to like someone for who they are. And then it happened to me again years later where I spent a weekend with somebody and it was nothing but talking. And I realized that that's the most important thing in the world. Because a lot of people, all they worry about is sex.
Well, I think it's become a thing. Sorry, I just sneezed.
It's okay.
It becomes a thing because in previous relationships, more so men, they've been kept from having sex. So sex has become a big holding. Like, I'm holding out. You're not going to put up.
Yeah, well, sex is
Like,
currency. That's why.
It's become that. And I get it because women, as I've heard it, and always do hear it, like they hold out like as if as if they're proud of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're proud of yourself from holding out being with somebody you're supposed to love? How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't care how mad you get at a person, you should always try to have sex. You should always try to be close. You should always try to be intimate. And if you're not wanting that, you're in the wrong relationship.
Right. And I think that that's a telling sign, right?
For sure. I know
think
that was the end. I remember those signs of the end of my divorce, like just the lack of caring to be close like that was very much a sign. Looking back, didn't know at the time. I thought it was more like a power struggle or something of that nature, but it wasn't. It was the beginning of the end.
Right. Yeah. And I think that was probably very similar for me. Matter of fact, in a couple of relationships,
Mm-hmm.
when things just kind of, you just stopped that part of everything.
But see, women use that as a tool to get what they want, and then on top of it, it becomes something that isn't felt. Like now you're cutting him off from the source, from everything, because even when you're having sex, you're not bonding, you're not being close, you're being robotic, or you're doing it to get something out of him, or you're doing it because he's losing his shit, and if you don't, you're afraid of what he's going to do next. Like, those aren't reasons to be doing that.
Right.
But when it happens, you might want to take a good look at your relationship because it may not be going that great.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And look, and like I said, I think that there's longevity of this. Not wanting to have sex one weekend it's not the reality of your whole relationship. And again, for whatever reason, I also think that if you don't want to be intimate with somebody, you should say why. Like, and not use I have a headache. Like, I'm just not feeling it right now. It doesn't mean that I don't love you, that I don't want to be with you. It's just right now. And I think that goes a long way short term.
Well, you got to understand, for women, as always, their hormones are, battling out inside of them. So
Yep.
as they get older, that changes. Or I got to tell you, just getting bored of the same damn thing. Like, for me, there wasn't anything more new that we could do because we had been together so long, and
I mean, there's always something new, but yes.
But it was, but that was hard. Like and I don't want to sound mean, but by saying mundane or the monotony of it all, but there was some degree of that. And I'm sure he would say the same thing as well. Like, it's always two people. It's never just the one person.
I agree with that, but I do, like you've said before, like, I'll give you an example. I think it's up to both parties to push the envelope when it comes to being intimate.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because men, we're so simple. We're so simple. It doesn't take a lot for us to orgasm. where
Okay.
where in a lot of cases, women, it does.
It's a combination lock.
It is, but I'm just saying it's a combination lock sometimes.
Yeah.
My thing is this too. I guess I'm just a different cuss. I want to know everything. I would prefer a roadmap than thinking I know what I'm doing on my own.
Okay.
So when I'm with women, I'm like, if I'm not doing something right, you can say it. Because at the end, I want you to have a good time where I don't worry about it anymore. Just like, because I like getting people off. I think that there's something to that. But that's also intimacy. So like and I know that, we can argue semantics when it comes to that too. Cause I know girls that are like, I didn't get you off. I don't like that. I get it. I don't want to,
Mhm.
I don't want to argue on either side of that. But when it comes to pushing the envelope of what you want, like you said before, you're like, I just wanted him to take me in the kitchen. And I think men, we have our own issues with lots of different things. I it is difficult. Like I couldn't see myself doing certain things 10 years ago that I've done today. You know what I mean? Like I remember way back in the day, fuck, I would love to tell you who it was, but I don't remember. The first time like having sex in a jacuzzi. And I do believe I know who it is, and I do believe you know them. But I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure it was. I'm almost positive. Too many bumps on the head. So that person, then I was probably like, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. Where now I'd be like, fuck it. I don't care. Like get naked in the pool. Like, like it just doesn't matter. Like you have to like let things go, where I think I've found myself doing things like I've had sex in front of a window, knowing somebody was in the backyard and not caring.
As
So
it should be.
right. And matter of fact, if they saw, I would have like giggled and probably waved.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So there's something to that's where I'm saying that there's, the signs that of your relationship going sideways is when the person that you are with says, hey, I would really like this to happen, and it doesn't. Like you really do have to press your mate to keep things going. It's like I've women who are a little bit forceful sometimes are great.
They should be too. I mean, I think it's good for
Both
a man
sides.
to know he's wanted.
Yeah. And vice versa. There's something, and not to get too like, in depth on this, but there is something like I know that like we haven't done a sex show yet, and we really, that's been on there for 4 years, and we still haven't done it.
Let's just do it.
But like if you grab somebody by the neck and push them against the wall, like, and that's and I'm not saying like trying to hurt somebody, but just hey, I want you right now. There's nothing better than that. So like I think if a girl does it to a guy, most guys aren't going to, and I don't mean push me against a wall. Fuck, that's the same thing. But
they're not going to say no.
They're not going to say no. And vice versa. If you're walking through the kitchen and she like fucking drops her drawers and says, take me right now, 99.9% of dudes are going to say yes.
I hope so. I mean, we
and
need them to be like that.
I agree. Like I'm saying, it's no different than having sex in front of the window, knowing that you could get caught, because there's something, not only is it daring, but it's showing like, I want you to be mine. Like,
yeah.
So if they see it's all right because that guy's just jealous of me, so there's something to be said to that. So
there's it's also a sense of like possession, of taking control and taking charge, which is at the core of what men are. So
Correct.
it does cause a woman to take notice or take, not notice, but like to know that she's wanted like that. It's a good thing.
Right.
It demands attention and respect.
Right. It's, I want you this bad that I'm willing to do this.
Know that I'm going to do this.
Right. Well, or willing. Like I'm saying, I feel like you're out, if you can get caught, that would be the willing part.
Yeah.
But yes. What else would you think would be like a big warning sign that your relationship's over that we haven't talked about?
Sleeping in another bed. Different beds.
Yes.
I would say for me, that would be like the beginning of the end.
Yeah. That I 100% agree. Once you're there, I think it's, you're just kidding yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, and not trusting, like when I've seen, couples where they quit trusting each other and they move their money separately and they lock up things, and next thing you know, stuff is just disappearing and they don't know where. That's definitely a sign too.
Yeah. And look, I think as older folks like we are, you're once bitten, twice shy. So there's a lot to be said to that. If you've had issues in the past, I can understand where you might not be as trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those are the things that you talk about during the courting stage, and just be like, look, this happened to me. I want you to understand that I could be this way.
Yeah.
But I think, look, to me, the trust thing is give them enough rope to hang themselves. That's it.
I think you should. I mean, for me, it's like when I was married, I remember I never even went into my ex's drawers or go through anything in his personal, in his office or in the garage. I just never went anywhere close to his things. Not for no other reason other than I just didn't want to know whether there was trust, whether there wasn't, whether and I think that when you don't trust, there's a level of insecurity that you need to check yourself. So, whenever I had any of that, I didn't bother to look.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that part of that, the not fighting anymore, or the not, not getting passionate, was part of it too.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was good on one side, but not on the other. It was a double-edged sword. Like trusting to that degree is great, but not caring to check is not great. I don't
Correct.
know.
Like you said, it's very much a double-edged sword. You have to walk the fine line. Like, look, I've let many girlfriends and wives go out dancing.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that it has bitten me.
See, and that never would have been a problem for me because I was always just on the dance floor. I wasn't looking for. As a matter of fact, every time somebody approached me, I was like, nope, don't bother me. I'm dancing. Like, leave me alone.
I truly don't think that one of them meant for it to happen. It just did. I think my relationship was already not good. She was probably already looking for a way out. And
makes sense.
And it just happened. But I will tell you that I didn't find that out until way later, where, I let my ex-wife go out partying until 4 a.m. And I know for a fact that she didn't, because her best friend is who told me about the other person. So if it was happening before, I would know.
That's
so
true.
There's a lot to be said to that. But look, you have to minimize the things that can happen in a relationship that can turn it sideways. So, but there are signs. Look, I mean, like you said, if you're pushing your mate to the another bed, probably already over.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's unfortunate, it happens. And we're at a spot where, there's a lot of things that can hiccup a relationship. Generally it's other people. Other people will always screw your relationship up.
Yeah.
And I mean that from.
Well, jealousy is an ugly thing. Like,
100%.
if you have it, even if they never wanted it, chances are they're going to want it because you will. So you really got to watch that.
Yeah. And you have to understand that the person that you're probably with, emotionally can, kind of weave in and out of traffic. You got to find your way back to the person and say, look, this is what it is. And let's not let it go down this road. But there are a lot of signs that relationships, I think, that are, and I hate to use the word red flag. I think that's just
overdone.
It's overused. Everything's a fucking red flag.
Everything's a flag.
Yeah, everything. It's like
everything.
It'd be like going to the beach. There's a fucking million of them. So,
right.
I don't buy the red flag thing. Like, if you're a good person and they're a good person, you can make it work. You just have to realize that we come with baggage, all of us, no matter if you're 22 or 52.
Yep.
You come with baggage. Some of that baggage needs to be handled and some of it doesn't. But you have to understand that the baggage that comes with people is part of life, and it's a good reason not to push them away. It's just trying to understand that things will be okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's very difficult. Look, there's a lot of signs. Look for them. But also remember that if it's an early in the relationship and you see a sign and you think it's worth fighting for, make sure they know. If you've been in the relationship 25 years, it's probably already done, because you probably saw that flag at 10 and you just
saw it when you were dating.
Yeah.
It turned into the 10.
Yeah. And it turned into marriage, that turned into kids, that turned into 10, that at 10, you were like, I got to get out of this shit. This is fucking horrible. And then at 25, there's something that breaks the back, right? Yeah. There's always something that finally you go, I cannot do this anymore and I got to go. Look, I mean, my ex-wife, she was 40 years old. Yes, she met somebody else, but I think that it was probably over well before that.
Yeah.
That just helped. But look, she walked away. There's something to be said about that. I think that, try to make your relationship work. And if it doesn't, look, walk away. Like, better to do it now than wait and wait and wait and wait. Because look, at the end of the day, like, we only have so many years. You better enjoy them while you're here. And if you found that you like somebody and they're good for you and you think it'll work, might be a good idea to fight for it.
Yeah.
Because they're few and far between. To think that there's a lot of choice out there, you're going to be very, very disappointed.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot less than you think.
I would hope not. I mean, I hope that when I'm ready to do the settling down again, it's not that difficult.
I'm just looking statistically. Statistically,
you're like, I'm just telling you
good.
the truth, not your bullshit dreamy shit.
Yeah, I'm all up for dreamy stuff. I like that. I'm a sucker. I'm kind of a hopeless romantic. I try to see the best in everything. Mm-hmm. I do. But the reality is that we have a short window, mostly at this age. If you're young, you can probably weave in and out of things for the next 10 or 15 years.
Right.
But at our age, like, there's a very, very select amount of people left. And if they fit inside your window, you might want to go, that might work. or I might want to try this just to see what it is. Because, you may end up realizing what's really out there.
Yeah.
It'll be, the next 4 dudes who only want to bang you and never call you again. Or it's the next, 5 girls that you all take on, $100 dates that ghost you right afterwards.
Mm.
I'd rather find the one person that I can go, fuck, I can talk to her pretty much every day. And man, we've had some great conversations and it's great to be around. Yeah. I might want to try that one out instead of going, I wonder if there's anyone better. I bet, you know what? There's probably somebody better than her. I'm going to see if there is. And then 2 years later, there's nobody.
Mm.
You gotta, if you think there's something worth fighting for, do it, because you may end up 10 years later seeing all these signs that your shit's done. So
That's true. I don't know.
Tina,
I think that we're all meant to be with who we're going to be with, and we don't even need to worry about it to that degree. We don't have to.
I agree to a little bit of that. I mean, we know too many people who've been in long relationships that are miserable.
And you know what? Stick with that, please. Enjoy your misery.
But some people can't get out of it.
Yeah, no, there's no fucking can'ts.
That's true.
Through the door. Walk through the door.
Sometimes you have to realize that you can just move on. And your mate at the time is going to go, but you can't make it without me.
Yeah, you can.
And that's my whole thing is with that whole statement too, is it's not about proving them wrong. It's about showing yourself that whatever your thing of getting by is.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be rich. I'd rather be rich in a relationship than rich money wise. Because I've been in relationships where we had money. And guess what that got me? Nothing. No house, no car, spending, $20,000 on a kitchen and 12 on a staircase, it got me nothing.
Right.
So I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather barbecue in the backyard, some chicken and veggies, and sit at the table and enjoy the sunset than worry about, what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They don't bury you with what you have.
No, they don't.
But on your deathbed, if you can look over at the person that you love and that really, really just understands and listens to you, the greatest currency in the world.
Mm.
See, I'm a hopeless romantic. It kills me every time.
I was going to say, oh, Rob.
I know. It's I can't even watch those type of movies. They get me all the time.
Oh,
I just think that we all want something like that, right? I mean, we're human. Our ancestors had a lot of that, to a degree. So, and if not, why is there so many people that write about it? We've been writing about love since, the dawn of time.
I think because it's always bothering you, one level or another.
Yeah.
Either have it, you don't have it, you have it, but it's complicated.
Yeah.
You don't have it, but you want it to be complicated. I mean,
you have it, but you can't make it happen, or you don't have it and you wish it could. And
it
the people that
validates the fact that you're worth being loved. And I think a lot of people need that, but a lot of people don't need the crap that goes with it.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. Love is hard.
Yeah.
It
ain't
difficult.
easy.
It ain't easy. It's another job.
It is.
But I think that if you look at it from the standpoint of it's probably the best work you'll ever do, you might end up with somebody that's worth your time. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I see the people that are 80 years old and they've been with the same person for 40 years and just go, wouldn't that be cool? And look, they may have their days where they hate each other, but they're still there. And she's, like I said, I walked out, I was at the doctor and a guy walked out with his little old lady wife and holding her hand out of the elevator. They had to be like in their mid 80s.
But how is that cute? Imagine all those years they tortured each other.
Yeah.
Because you
but
know,
they're
being
still
in a
there.
relationship does that. Yeah, but still.
Still.
I don't know.
You got to give them credit. It's hard because we know how hard it is. I'd rather fail at relationships 100 times than never be in one. You know, there's something about, we are social creatures. When we don't have people, it is not a good thing for us. And that's
true.
both sexes. We both have our issues, you know. The pharmaceutical business wouldn't be so big, you know, giving people shit if everyone was okay.
Right.
So, any last words?
If you wanna make it work, you gotta put in the work.
Oh, there you go. I'm not even gonna say anything. That'll work. Perfect. Yeah. Check us out on social medias. I've been posting like mad. We've been doing really good again for this month. We've had some Canadas.
Really?
Yeah, like a bit. We
Same
had
areas or
I'm sorry, what?
same areas or
Yeah, it's Toronto. It's the big city.
okay.
But we've had like we had like South Africa. We had this was all within the last 30 days. Yeah, South Africa, Australia, France, Japan, Albania, all over the place. Pretty much everywhere. Germany, Ireland. So if you're checking us out all over the world, thank you again. Pretty awesome.
Yes, thank you.
And you can check us out every Wednesday. It's an opinion show. Don't get it twisted. Keep coming back. I'm Rob. That's Tina. We'll see you in a week. Bye.
See ya.